When you think of the biggest stars in MMA history, Chuck Liddell, Israel Adesanya, Mirko Cro Cop, Alex Pereira, what's the one thing they all have in common? Kickboxing. But before Poatan was breaking faces and bending time in the cage, one man was already blazing the trail. Before the UFC even existed. A Dutch madman who punched livers into early retirement and laughed while doing it. This is the insane story of how a nightclub bouncer with asthma became the greatest MMA fighter of his generation. This is Bas Rutten. Bas Rutten wasn't supposed to be a fighter. As a kid growing up in the Netherlands, he was plagued with severe asthma. Every 5 weeks, an attack would leave him bedridden, skinny, weak, and constantly bullied. His escape? The woods behind his house, where he'd climb trees and pretend to be Spider-Man. But everything changed on a family trip to France. Bas snuck into a movie theater to watch Enter the Dragon. He saw Bruce Lee and his world exploded. He wanted to become that. He begged his parents for martial arts lessons and started training Taekwondo. But just 4 weeks in, he KO'd a school bully, sent him to the hospital, and his parents immediately pulled him out. Didn't matter. Bas kept training, in secret, in schoolyards, in mirrors. Eventually, when he left home, he went all in, karate, taekwondo. Then came Dutch Muay Thai, and that changed everything. First day in a Dutch Muay Thai gym, Bas got wrecked, dropped by a liver shot. He went home, stared into the mirror, and drilled that same shot for hours. His girlfriend thought he was nuts. Next day, he came back and wrecked 85% of the gym. Bas won his first 14 fights, most by knockout. A pure force. Sharing cards with legends like Ramon Dekkers, analyzing Tyson's head movement, and developing his own brutal Dutch kickboxing meets street fighter style. But he wasn't just a fighter. He worked as a bouncer, a model, even a chef. Fighting was just one of his jobs. Then one night, drunk and bouncing at a nightclub, Bas unknowingly accepted a fight against Frank Lobman, one of the scariest kickboxers in Holland. Hungover, out of shape, and with a torn shin, Bas stepped into the ring and got destroyed. That loss stuck with him. Then came more chaos. Dirty fighters, riotous crowds, getting bitten in fights, street fights in Paris, even jail time. Eventually, he said, "I'm done with kickboxing in Holland. These people don't deserve me." Just when he thought he was out, Japan pulled him back in. Chris Dolman invited Bas to try out for a new promotion, Pancrase. It was free fighting. No gloves, open-hand strikes, submissions, no weight classes. 30-minute rounds. No BS. First day at the gym, the grapplers murdered him. He couldn't eat for days. But Bas went home, trained like a maniac, and came back swinging. His first fight in Pancrase? KO in seconds, palm strike. Man hospitalized. Japanese fans in awe. Bas had arrived. He beat the Nafor guy in Japan, then the two, all with just his striking. No ground game. But the Japanese catch wrestlers weren't done with him yet. After getting heel-hooked by Ken Shamrock, Bas hit a wall. He realized, I'm going to get submitted forever if I don't evolve. But here's the twist. He didn't hire a grappling coach. He and his buddy Leon Van Dyke literally watched VHS tapes, wrote down techniques, and practiced them. In garages. On each other. On Bas' wife. Seriously. That's how he built his ground game. No BJJ black belt. No MMA super camp. Just trial, error, and obsession. And it worked. Bas started tapping guys out, guys like Maurice Smith and Jason DeLucia. He KO'd Minoru Suzuki, beat Frank Shamrock by decision in a rematch, and won the Pancrase Openweight Championship. By now, Bas Rutten had transformed into something terrifying. A complete fighter. By 1998, Bas was 21-0, a legit world champ, and one of the most famous fighters in Japan. But he wanted more. He wanted the UFC, not for the fame, not for the belt. His first fight in the UFC didn't go perfectly. He got taken down over and over by Tsuyoshi Kosaka, but Bas weathered the storm and turned it on late. He brutalized Kosaka with knees and punches and got the win. Next up, Kevin Randleman. Now listen, Randleman was a bad matchup, pure wrestling monster. Bas had to chug water to even make heavyweight. Within seconds, he was on his back, bleeding from a smashed nose. Kevin controlled the top, but didn't do much. Bas, meanwhile, attacked from the bottom, landed more strikes, went for subs. The fight went the distance. Fans were split. But the judges crowned Rutten the UFC Heavyweight Champion. Controversial? Maybe, but go back and look. Bas did way more damage, landed way more shots. He fought off his back like no one else at the time. After that, Bas planned to drop to middleweight and become the first double champ. But his body said no. Years of fighting had taken their toll. Torn biceps, neck pain high, chronic injuries. He retired, undefeated in 22 fights, with belts in both Pancrase and the UFC. But that was just the beginning. He became a beloved commentator in Pride, starred in movies, trained fighters like Mark Kerr, and became a cult hero to fans around the world. Bas didn't just fight, he inspired. He paved the way for guys like Crow Cop, Overeem, Adesanya, and Pereira. Kickboxers who took over MMA, who brought striking to the top, and he did it all with a smile, a joke, and a liver shot. But he worked, he adapted, he evolved, and he built himself into one of the greatest mixed martial artists of all time. Bas, if you're watching this, thanks for everything. Smack that like button for more stories like this one. Subscribe if you love combat sports. And let me know in the comments, who should we cover next? I'm out.